After 6 months away, Xbox is finally bringing back one of its coolest programs ever. What's up, y'all? I'm Ray, and this is my channel, Xbox Ready, where we get on and we talk about Xbox stuff. The latest news, rumors, games, accessories, pretty much anything I want to talk about as long as it's about Xbox in some way. And in today's video, we're going to talk about how Xbox is bringing back this fan-favorite feature, another major first-party game making its way over to PlayStation, what's going on with one of Xbox's most popular studios, and if you as an Xbox fan should be thanking PlayStation. So one of the things I've always appreciated about Xbox is that they always give us a lot of options. Of course, that's like their whole thing now, right? Oh, play games how you want, where you want, over cloud, on PC, on console. But even if you go back to last generation, when they were like, yeah, we're doing a mid-gen refresh, but if you don't want to spend the money on an Xbox One X, you don't care about 4K gaming, you can buy the One S. It's cheaper, but it's a little bit better than that base model. They kept that rolling into this generation with the Series X and S. And then they just went kind of crazy with it. Despite all the news that we were hearing about, oh, hardware sales are down, they were like, let's release a digital Series X. Let's release a Series S with more storage. Then, of course, we got the ability to play our Xbox games on pretty much anything with an internet connection. A Fire Stick, a Samsung TV, gaming handhelds, all sorts of stuff. And that flexibility has extended all the way down to their accessories, specifically their controllers. There are so many Xbox controllers out there. Some of the coolest ones not even made by Xbox themselves. And while everyone is always throwing around the joke, oh, Xbox making too many controllers, they make more controllers than they do first-party games. First of all, that's not true anymore. Second of all, I think it's cool. The more options, the better. I should know, I own way too many Xbox controllers. I love the shape, I love the feel, I love the weight of my Elite Series 2 specifically. It's really hard to go back to playing games without those back paddles. And another thing I always thought was really cool about Xbox controllers was that I can go on their website, the Design Lab, and make my own, just in case I didn't like just regular black or any of the other stock colors that they put out. The problem is that the Xbox Design Lab has been MIA, just shut down completely for the past 6 months. Apparently, this was because they were trying to work out a new deal with payment processors. Payment processors? If I got to hear about that one more time, I'm going to be sick. What the major guys like Visa and MasterCard are doing on Steam, absolutely disgusting. Apparently, these companies are just a pain in the ass to deal with, so it took that long for Xbox to just get their freaking website up and running again. But they did figure it out as per an announcement they made on Twitter, where they just said, make it all yours. Xbox Design Lab is back. And sure enough, the website is up and running again. I can go ahead and design whatever controller I want, whether it's an Elite series or just a regular wireless controller. There is a bit of, I would say, false advertising in this sizzle reel that they're posting on Twitter. Because they're like, oh yeah, you can customize your controller however you want, which is true. Tons of colors, trigger options, different finishes that you can mess around with. But in this trailer, they clearly show off the special edition Doom controller and the Witcher 3 Wild Hunt controllers that they did for the 10th anniversary. Both cool controllers. I don't have the Doom one, but I do have both of the Witcher ones. They're awesome. But when you go to the Design Lab, they're nowhere to be found. The only options that you have in terms of any game explicit designs are Black Ops 6 and Fallout. They're both pretty cool. I prefer the Fallout one over the Black Ops 6 one, but I already own one of those. I know that the Witcher one sold out pretty much instantly when they announced them, so I'm wondering as time goes on if they're going to add Doom and The Witcher and any other game that they feel like. They have a huge, massive stable of IP, and the more of those franchises that they can put into the Design Lab, the better. And you know what? Take it a step further. You want me to play how I want, where I want, whatever the Xbox slogan is? Let me design my own console. Stop playing around. Stop releasing these special edition Xboxes that you can only win in a damn giveaway on Twitter, or charge out the ass for some other ones like the SpongeBob one. Let me design my own Series X. That would be cool. I know they know that people want that. That's why they did the whole console wrap situation. Those are cool, but it'd be a lot cooler if I can have like a special Witcher design etched into my Xbox custom from Microsoft. Speaking of first-party games, at one point, the most anticipated, a game that was supposed to save Xbox, put it on the map. Once upon a time, that game was Starfield. Man, the hype leading up to this game was absolutely insane. Oh, this is is a game that was 10 years in the making. Oh, it's a game that Bethesda has always wanted to make. And then when it got delayed out of 2022, there was a mix of skepticism, but also hope. Oh, Starfield is going to be so much better because they're taking that much time to really put in the work, polish the edges, and deliver a great game. And not only were people hyping up the game itself, oh, there's going to be a bajillion different planets for you to explore. Anything is possible in this game. This game is on a level that you've never seen before, especially in comparison to Bethesda's past RPGs. But a big deal was also made out of the fact that it was going to be Xbox exclusive. The first Bethesda game that was going to be Xbox only. People were seething, and of course, rightfully so, because all of Bethesda's other games came out on PlayStation as well. But tough titties, right? Microsoft bought them, and that's just the way the business was going to go. And after Starfield, there was going to be all sorts of other Xbox exclusives. Of course, fast forward to 2025, 2 years almost after Starfield released, and it's the complete opposite. Of course, things really did change after the Activision Blizzard acquisition, but I wonder if you can trace Microsoft's multi-platform strategy back even further, specifically to the release of Starfield back in 2023. This was supposed to be the game of a generation, and by a lot of people's standards, it turned out to just be an okay game. There was another wrinkle in the story because allegedly Starfield did have a PlayStation 5 version in development at one point, but after they were acquired, Xbox was like, nope, not working on that anymore, focus on the Xbox version. Well, according to this new report, they should have just continued to make the PlayStation 5 version because they were eventually going to release one anyway. Apparently in 2026, Starfield is going to make the jump to PlayStation 5 alongside the game's second major expansion, which would mean the PlayStation 5 version was set to launch somewhere in the first half of 2026. This obviously continues a trend that Xbox has been on over the past 6 months, a very lucrative trend. Forza Horizon 5 is doing numbers on PlayStation, as well as some other first-party games like Sea of Thieves. Call of Duty, of course, continues to sell in the top 10 or near the top 10 on PlayStation as well. I don't know how PlayStation fans are going to react to Starfield, though. PlayStation fans have shown a willingness to play Xbox games. They're excited for these ports. The numbers, the data, everything suggests that. But for Starfield specifically, I'm not entirely sure. Now, I know a lot of people love Starfield. I'm not saying it's the worst game I've ever played, but I'm saying, to me, it wasn't fun. It was boring. And that's coming from a dude, I'm like a Bethesda RPG slut. Skyrim, Oblivion, Fallout, I eat that up. But Starfield, it just didn't hook me in the same way. In Bethesda games specifically, I'm really big on exploration. And Skyrim and whatever Elder Scrolls game or other past Bethesda RPG, I'm not arguing that every place is interesting or fulfilling when you explore it, but there are enough instances of that, going into a cave and finding something really cool or a funny NPC or storyline. That happens enough in previous Bethesda RPGs that it gives the illusion of, oh, what's out there? What's around the corner if I just delve a little deeper? Starfield, I did not have that feeling. And a large part of that was due to the procedurally generated planets. Oh man, I can go and explore this planet. I wonder what's on it. Oh, nothing. Barely any life, a couple of landmarks, and that's it. I went into Starfield expecting it to be kind of like Fallout, where I was reading every terminal to piece together what happened in a specific place. And that excitement was just not there in Starfield. I would go to these abandoned outposts. Oh, there's a bunch of dead bodies around. That's it, I guess. I'll just pack up my bags and leave. And I hated the explanation that Bethesda had for it. Well, that's realistic. Of course, if you were to go to the moon right now or another planet, there'd be nothing on there, just rocks and stuff. I don't care. I don't care about that. I don't care about realism in a game that's supposed to invoke the wonders of exploring space, especially when the games that made you successful were Fallout, which is I'm slowing down time with the VAT system to blow the freaking head off a mutant, or harnessing the powers of damn elder dragons to bring my enemies to their knees. I don't want realism. I don't care about the realism. I want fun. And even after the Shattered Space expansion, you really didn't hear too much about Starfield. You don't really hear too much about it from Xbox themselves. And we know almost nothing about this next expansion that's supposed to come out, which is crazy. I mean, this is the second expansion. I mean, technically the third update that they did after they added in the buggy and all that. But here you have a game that is infinite pretty much, And in all that space, you're just like, yeah, we're gonna throw in like one or two things and then be done with it. Very interested to see how PlayStation fans respond. Again, Starfield, not the worst game I've ever played, just didn't resonate with me. I'm sure it'll sell decently, but it won't dominate like we've seen Forza Horizon 5 or these other Xbox games coming over to PlayStation have done. Speaking of other Xbox games, a lot of people are worried because, well, Turn 10 social media accounts have been completely dark since they announced massive layoffs at Microsoft, including at Turn 10. Some reports say 50% of their staff was cut, and the remaining staff were going to be kept on as support for other Xbox games. This was brought up by Clobrill on Twitter. He was just saying the official Forza Motorsport account has not posted anything since July 10th, nor has there been, wait, July 10th? Dang, it's already August, huh? Yeah, July 10th. Nor has there been any communication on further Forza Motorsport updates or support. In May, Turn 10 released the best update the game has seen yet. I don't think this necessarily means there's going to be no more support for Motorsport. I don't think we're going to see anything major. It'll still be live and playable. I just kind of assumed that after this Motorsport, what is it, 8? After that, there was not going to be another Motorsport game. And from my conversation with Jimmy Champagne last time he was on the channel, the writing was on the wall because this game and games prior were just not resonating with fans. They weren't bangers. This is a situation, though, where Xbox needs to be better at communicating with its customers, with its fans. Motorsport may not have been a breakaway hit, but a decent amount of people bought it, and I bet more than a few people are still playing it. And they have a right to be worried about the future of their purchase. This is the perfect opportunity to be like, hey, this is exactly what's going on with Motorsport and Turn 10. Here's what you can expect as a fan. For example, here's what you can expect as an Xbox fan. In a couple weeks, we'll be playing one of the most popular PlayStation games that have come out this generation on our Xbox consoles. I'm of course talking about Helldivers 2. This was a pretty crazy announcement. I think it came the day after we got news about the Xbox layoffs. Coincidence? I think not. Now, it's widely believed that Arrowhead, the studio behind Helldivers 2, were the people that were primarily responsible for this Xbox port. Oh, they want more people to play their game, they want to make more money, grow their audience. Of course, that sounds like a studio motivation, not a publisher, especially a publisher like Sony Interactive. But the CEO of Arrowhead cleared things up a little bit. He said, no, it was all PlayStation. Thank them. Over on Discord, he said, send them your thanks. We were all in support of it, of course. I think it's one of the coolest things they've done. They're killing it, which is, I gotta say, very, very surprising. Previous to this, PlayStation has demonstrated they just don't want to let go of their exclusive games, especially not in the way that Xbox has. Helldivers, out of all of their exclusive games, probably had the best chance to come on over to Xbox. It's multiplayer, they came out with it on Steam already, so it's not locked to PlayStation like their other games. But this is definitely part of a broader trend that we're seeing. It's not just Xbox exploring this multi-platform strategy. And while I don't think that we're going to be seeing The Last of Us anytime soon on Xbox, I don't believe that Helldivers 2 is going to be the last PlayStation game showing up on Xbox. Of course, the future of that is kind of muddy because apparently Xbox, the next consoles are not going to be consoles at all. They're going to be PCs, pre-built PC kind of things that run an Xbox dashboard or interface. So really, if PlayStation just makes a PC version of their game, yeah, that would technically be playable on the next Xbox. Anyways, guys, that's all the Xbox stuff I have to talk about today. Thanks so much for joining me for another edition of Xbox Ready. If you made it this far into the video, consider subscribing. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.